Captains, and welcome to this Explain 11 beta video. Today we're going to be taking a look at xEnviro, which has just been released and available on the Explain.org website for $69.90. It's a very hefty price for this plugin, and it's a weather generation and representation engine. If you recall, in my last video I made a reference to a program, and this is now the program. It is actually released. It's available for Explain 11 and Explain 10. In this video, what I essentially would like to show you is what this plugin does very well and what it doesn't do very well, and you be the judge of whether it's worth the price or not. So I'm not going to make any reference to what I think of the price. I think it's an expensive plugin, but whether it's worth the price or not, I think I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. What I've noticed in this plugin is that it works on the 2D panel as well. So if I switch to the 2D panel, you can see the raindrops, and those are 2D raindrops, but it's not done very well because you can see the raindrops all over the place here. So that definitely needs to be fixed. The other thing that I immediately noticed is that in Explain, normally during the rain, the wet runway, you'll see some kind of water coming from the water trails, from the tires, and there's absolutely nothing here. So if I release the parking brake, and let's just give it a little bit of power, as you can see, there is nothing there. It doesn't really give you the feel of a wet runway, although it is raining very heavily at the moment. Okay. Now what I've done in order to get this rainy spot is I went to badweather.com and I looked for an area where there is heavy precipitation, and I found this location in India. So I decided to come over here to just kind of show you guys how the weather is represented. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you guys is really how the cloud layers blend in with the terrain. And this is something that came in SkyMax Pro after several versions. It is available on the very first release of xEnviro. And in terms of how it's done, I think it looks pretty good, but it's not exactly done to perfection. So there are a lot of imperfections with how this is looking. Now, if you look in this area here, it looks just fine. So if you're looking maybe like from this angle, right? So if you're looking from this angle, things look pretty okay. But as you see, those edges they're pretty rough. Okay, they're kind of they're too defined, and they need to be smoothened out so that it looks realistic. And I think SkyMax Pro version 3 does that very well. So it actually blends in with the terrain. Overall, I think it looks pretty good in terms of how this is looking. As you can see now, as I increase the elevation, things are looking pretty convincing in some areas. So I'm not sure what that is there. But if you look at this area, for example, right over here, I think the representation of the cloud layer and the fog from a distance looks pretty convincing. From down here, what you will notice is, you will notice that the exaggerated haze layer that Explain 11 has is somewhat controlled. So at least you can see the immediate area, and it's looking pretty good in terms of how the weather is represented. Now, unfortunately, the xEnviro completely disables the Explain weather system, so there is no way of checking what the weather conditions are like. And when I bring up the map, although I'm saying show me cloud and precipitation, I don't think that it's it is showing the clouds, I guess. Yeah, it is showing the clouds, but there isn't really any way to check the weather. So if you go to the weather, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. So if we go to the weather, as you can see, it says clear, customized. Okay, so no matter what you do, actually what we can do is we can say match real world conditions, and this is what we have. So we have scattered cumulus, and this is we have 4, gusting 4. This is what we have. But the minute you actually go back to the sim, it actually disables. So if I go now back here, again to show you, so it says again, clear and customize. So it actually disables the system, the X-Plane weather system. Well, folks, we are now airborne, and as you can see, the overall representation of clouds, I'm not sure why this is doing that, but it looks like something needs fixing there. But overall, I think the skies look a lot better than the default X-Plane clouds. If we look at the area around us, I personally don't think that it's very convincing. Okay, so I think it needs work. I think this doesn't look very realistic, to be honest. Now, it depends where you fly, and I think it depends on the actual weather conditions. But to me, this doesn't look extremely realistic, to be frank. Let's go ahead and take a look from the outside. And as you can see, it's not looking extremely realistic, okay? So it needs definitely work. I mean, just look at that. That is not realistic at all, okay? I like this area right over here. Looks very realistic, but not what you see in the horizon there is not. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. So we're back in the 3D cockpit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start changing the time. Alright, let's take a look here. Now the sky colors are phenomenal. Really very nice sky colors, in my opinion. Much more realistic than the default that come with X-Plane. It's almost as nice as the sky colors I used in X-Plane 10, which of course those were by Abdullah Al-Muntasir, the Ultra Weather XP version 1.5 set 1. But the sky colors look pretty convincing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to descend and see how the clouds look at this time of the day from underneath. Well, captains, as you can see, the scene from below the clouds looks absolutely phenomenal. I really like how this is looking from below the clouds. Definitely looks very convincing, it looks very realistic. This is something I really like. Going through the clouds is something I also like. And, you know, those little broken areas here really give it a very realistic look. So it's looking pretty good from where I'm sitting right now. As we move below the clouds, as you can see, the view is phenomenal. It's looking very realistic, very convincing from this point of view. Let me adjust the time just a notch here to change the color, and just look at that. That looks very nice. Looks very convincing, very realistic. And as we make things darker here, it's looking even better. We are now situated at Wellington Airport in beautiful New Zealand, and it's a cloudy day here in New Zealand, and I'm glad it is, because it's going to give us a chance to look at the clouds in xEnviro. And as you can see, the clouds, you know, they are far better than whatever X-Plane 11 or 10 provides. But in terms of realism, I personally don't think that they look very realistic, okay? Especially in this particular setting, I don't think that they look pretty realistic. Yeah, and I'm not sure why they rotate in that way. But yeah, I don't think that they look very realistic. They are far better, of course, than whatever X-Plane, whatever ships with X-Plane by default. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the time to see what it would look like. All right, so now we're changing the time. The sky colors look phenomenal, really. I'm not sure the clouds look very good, but at night they seem to have a more realistic look. So looking at the sky at night definitely looks far more realistic than what we see in by default. Still needs a lot of work, in my opinion. See, that scene looks pretty nice. It looks convincing, but not extremely realistic. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the settings menu. Plugins, xEnviro, and settings. Now, xEnviro comes in two modes of operation. One is the easy mode and one is the real mode. In easy mode, the visibility will be modified so that you're able to see no matter what the real world weather conditions are. In real mode, it will depict exactly what the current weather conditions are, which of course is my preferred mode of operation. But maybe for some of you, you want to be able to see and fly in bad weather conditions, and that easy mode will help you achieve that. Then you've got braking action, wind shear, and thunderstorms. Quite frankly, I've tried to see what those does, and now wind shear, it will be very difficult for me to test it. But braking action, I couldn't really see anything, and we'll test that in a minute. Thunderstorms, again, is something that I wasn't able to actually look at. I went to badweather.com and I picked an area where there are heavy thunderstorms. Now, yeah, I was able to see the rain. I couldn't hear any sounds and definitely couldn't really see any thunderstorms in the area. So I'm not sure if the weather has changed since the time it was reported on the badweather.com website, or if it's a deficiency in this program. This is something I really cannot confirm at this point. In terms of the cloud settings, now the nice thing about this is that it comes with presets. So if you have a low-end machine, then you can click on light. You can click on optimum, which gives you a nice balance, and then maximum, where it maxes everything out. Now I found that tweaking the optimum settings gave me the best results, versus performance. It is quite heavy on performance, so if you move this to about 160, you will probably notice significant significant degradation in performance. So optimum, this is what optimum says, okay? And I found that going to about 100 is pretty good. Or if light is, you don't really get much, okay? Optimum is where you start getting things, looking okay, and then this is where you can actually change the sliders to hit that sweet spot. So what I've done is I've probably halved everything. I took everything, so I'll take this to 20. I've taken this to 20, and reflection range again to 20, right? And shadow range again to 20. Cloud brightness, now as you can see, now this is too dark, and this is, well, I'll leave it there. You guys can play with this probably for your preferred color for the clouds. The third category of settings, if you will, is the atmosphere settings. And because I have a high-end machine, I've enabled everything. I wasn't really able to see everything, so the rain effect, we were able to see this on the 2D panel. 2D raindrops are enabled, but I wasn't able to see this on the 3D panel. So snow effect, again, these are things that I haven't really tested yet. And then the fourth category of settings are the sound settings. I've set everything to about 80. Again, what I like about this is it's got the preset, so you can disable completely optimum or maximum. Optimum would be my recommendation. I just had it at 80 so that I can hear the sounds, and unfortunately I wasn't able to hear anything as of right now. So captains, this is really the settings menu. Quite straightforward, really. There isn't really anything intricate about this settings menu. And now let's go ahead and take a look at a stormy location, and perhaps we can see some thunderstorms. Well, what do you know, guys? We are at Papa Alpha Golf Yankee, and it is snowing. And now we can see the snow effect. Now, it's looking okay as far as, snow goes, but I'm not sure that, I'm not sure, again, that it's very realistic. And there is absolutely no, by the way, you see the birds there? Those are not supposed to show because the weather isn't nice. Anyway. What I want to show you guys is, let's see if there is any braking effect, whether from the inside of the aircraft or the outside. So let's go ahead and just give it a little bit of power. Again, there are no effects, the rain or snow effects are not depicted here. So we are moving now, and I'm going to slam on the brakes in a minute. Alright, let me slam on the brakes. Okay, I really couldn't notice anything. Still nothing. Let's slam the brakes. Absolutely nothing. So I'm not really sure what they mean by by brake effects, but as far as I'm concerned, I can't really see anything different from the default aircraft. All right, let's go ahead and go back in here. You know what, let's check the 2D panel. Now with the 2D panel, again, you can see the drops of rain. That is not looking very realistic, I'll tell you. And you've got raindrops again all over the place. Alright, let's go ahead and go back to the 3D cockpit. Let's give it let's go ahead and take off. And now that looks okay. Alright, so now this is an extremely stormy location. Lots of snow, lots of rain, but the aircraft is flying as if there was nothing. Right. Now for the amount of bad weather we are experiencing, we shouldn't be flying in this way. So definitely in terms of turbulence, and I do have the turbulence set at 100%. Definitely I'm not seeing, the weather acting on the aircraft. That is something I'm not seeing. I'm not sure why. So we should be experiencing all kinds of turbulence, but it's not happening. Alright folks, we are now situated at Kuwait International Airport. The weather is quite pleasant in Kuwait. A few scattered clouds in the area which are depicted here, and we can see them. Now, the reason I came to this airport is I wanted to show you how xEnviro really resolves the exaggerated haze problem in X-Plane 11. No matter where you go in X-Plane 11, you'll see that the layer of haze is a bit exaggerated. Of course, you can resolve it by changing the visibility slider, but out of the box, xEnviro will fix that for you. It will show you what things really should look like, and it has that bluish color far in the horizon, kind of like what the Real Terra Haze did with the Fly with Lua plugin. So this is really what I wanted to show you guys. Overall, what I think is that xEnviro is a good plugin. It definitely changes the weather representation inside the sim, definitely to the better. Is it worth $69.90? That I will leave up to you guys to decide. In my opinion, it needs still a lot of work to, depict realistic representation of weather. It definitely needs a lot of improvements in a lot of areas, but potentially I think it would be a very good plugin, and it has the potential definitely of being a one of the best plugins for X-Plane. Captains, I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.